This is a product demonstration for Sherlock Well Control Equipment's TorqueTally system, which is made exclusively for Empire Torque tools. Some of the features of this system include remote control for a hazardous area through this tablet, a data acquisition system for torquing up connections, quality records including calibration information for the tools, torque job report for multi-fastener connections where multiple passes are required. Reports include job information with process steps and final torque applied. The operator gets to indicate when the job is complete and acceptable. And finally, the system overall provides information required for asset analysis and integrity management. So let's go ahead and get started. Since the pump is not running and generating any pressure, it should read 0 psi, and it is. I'm going to create a customer name. Let's call it Test 56, tested by DRS. Previously I had entered the serial numbers for the pressure transmitter, the gauge, and the pump. So I'm going to need to change any information there. So the tool head we'll be using in this example is an ELC4, and we're going to create a fictitious serial number for that. Let's call this connection number 1. We're going to do 2 fasteners. We'll do 2 passes on each fastener. So we're using the ELC4. And what this does is it allows the translation of pressure to torque based on the tool that we're using, the ELC4 tool from Empire Torque Tools. So the first thing we need to do is we're going to set our first pass pressure, and in this scenario let's assume we have a 1.5 inch stud and a 2 3/8 heavy hex nut. So a goal of 1400 foot-pounds of torque, which is about 3600 psi on the pump. So 60% of that is approximately 2160 psi. So let's go ahead and set that right now. So what I did is when I reached approximately 2160, in this case 2170, I pressed capture target pressure, and that's going to be the goal pressure that we're going to try to achieve for this first pass. I'm going to hit submit. I'm going to set up the tool, start recording, and get to work. I reached the target pressure of 2170. I was monitoring it down here, and when I reached 2170 I hit stop recording. So at that moment we're creating a digital record of that was the pressure that was achieved at that moment on that fastener for that pass. So we're going to move to the next fastener, set up the tool, start recording, and get to work. So now we're going to do the next pass, which means we need to adjust the pressure up to 3600, which would be 100%. Let's go ahead and do that now. So we have a target pressure of 3590. Hit submit, set up the tool, start recording, and get to work. Going to move on to the next fastener, set up the tool, start recording, and get to work. So we completed both passes for both fasteners, and I'm going to accept the results. And we're going to go to the report folder. So an HTML report was generated. which can be saved to a PDF, and you can just put it on a jump drive. There's a couple USB ports here. You want to put it on a jump drive, or you can even access it through the web. So here's the customer details that we had earlier, calibration details. Here's the first pass on the first fastener. You can see our target pressure was 2170. Our actual pressure that we reached was 2170. That translates to about 819 foot-pounds of torque. Here's the second pass of the first fastener, and then of course the first pass of the second fastener and the second pass of the second fastener. And there's your digital record.